Hey, welcome. 3 tries to get on, but we're here. And transition. Okay. I was supposed to be headed for St. Louis today, but I needed to get my oil changed and couldn't get in, so I won't be going till tomorrow. So there's no Saturday at John's because he has some type of thing going on. Can you guys hear me? Okay? Can you hear me? I'm not showing a green dot over here. Let me know in the chat box if you can hear me. YouTube's been acting up. Can you hear me? Let me type this in here. Okay. Can you hear me? For some reason, I got no green dot. Let's edit it. All is good. Okay, great. That's what I need to know. All right. Like I stated, I was supposed to be going to St. Louis, but I didn't get at it. So we'll go tomorrow, first thing in the morning. Might go leave tonight. I don't know. But I'm gonna be finishing this fuselage tomorrow, so I want to get it ready. And I will show that on camera, but it'll be from St. Louis. So need to get all this ready because I'm going to end up putting fillets in it too tomorrow. Got a long ways to go and a short time to get there. Anyway, this is going to be a boring video. It's going to be what I normally do is sand. I don't have John here to banter with me, so it's just me. So if you want to know something, ask in the chat box there, and we'll try to answer the questions. Now, this is the part that takes the longest amount of time on building an airplane, the detail sanding. If you want a good airplane, that is. I only have about 30 days to finish this up. And I think I can do it. I mean, I know I can do it if I was at home again. But seeing as that I'm still in the work mode, which might be not for longer. I'm totally sick of this. Only got 8 grand more to go. We'll be all caught up and I won't have to do it. Now, you notice there I was using my finger. There's a line and I want it to kind of blur out like a cloud, and that will taper the superfill. It's just a little extra. Let me turn this around so I can use my right hand instead of my left hand. The Dauntless plans have been printed. So that project is a go. It's got an 84-inch wingspan. So it's not a little airplane. I'm hoping that a Sato 80 will power it. Now in the details, if you look here, this corner is not quite right. And if I let it go, yeah, maybe somebody wouldn't notice it, but I would notice it. So we have to do whatever it takes to make it perfect. We might put some dope on this today. I'll take the camera. I got a 30-foot streaming cable. Take the camera outside. And I'll slosh some dope on it. I found my $15 a sheet Japanese tissue in a tube. I only got 3 sheets, so I got enough to do this job, and that's it. I don't think I'll be buying any more. I bought a whole pile of it from a free flight guy in England, and I don't think I'll do that again. I like it, but it's just too expensive. You notice I sanded most of that aqua green off of there. That stuff's too heavy to leave on, I can tell you that right now. I'll get a close-up of this and see if you can see what I'm talking about. Well, I don't even need to get a close-up. You see this edge right here, how it looks like a cloud? That's how you feather putty out. You don't want any straight lines. You want a cloud-looking area. That means it's all feathered in underneath. Back when we were using DC 540, if you remember, I used to sand them until you could see through the primer. Just like that, you could actually see right through it. You could read a newspaper through it, and that was the lightest finish you could get. But they ruined that for us, so now we're painting without paint. I get a kick. I watch all these car shows, and these guys are laying on a gallon of primer, and this, they don't know how lucky they are. They can cover up all the buggers with the primer. Where here, you have to paint without any paint. So everything has to be perfect, and there's not a whole lot of room for error. So we're down to 320 here, kind of going to smoothing it out. I don't expect you guys to hang around all day. It's pretty boring. I mean, it's all I do is sand. But you want to get all the edges so that there's no shiny spots. It's all got to be flat. I so badly want to put the fillets in this thing, but I can't do it until I get the tissue on it. But we can detail sand all the rounds and I hope you guys can see that reinforcing these areas with the carbon fiber is really going to stiffen this stuff up. Here again, let me get in here and show you. Here again, you can see that carbon patch in there, but you can't feel it. That's how thin you want the putty on there. And it'll take a couple of coats of paint to hide that black, but I'm thinking about tissuing over it because I found that Jap tissue on it. This is doctor paper on here. I'm thinking about going back over it with Jap tissue. It'll add a little bit, but it'll hide those black spots. We got the buggers underneath. I feel them. Detail sanding. Boy, isn't this fun. I have a spot here. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to attack it. When I was shaping these flaps, I sanded a hollow in it. We might try superfill on the hollow the first try. But if you look at it, it's an 1/8 here. And when it gets up here, it goes right here. It goes down to 3/16 or 3/32 or whatever, 3/16 or I don't know. It goes down a little bit, so it's got a hollow right here. I might try superfill on that. Otherwise, I'm going to take and cut this flap out and put a new piece of balsa in it. I didn't notice it until I got paint on it. And probably nobody would notice it except me. But we can't have it. This is 320, not 180. Got to get the 180 back on it. Oh, this is 180. Okay, good. Now here I've stepped out about 1/8 of an inch. So this is about an 1/8 inch fill there, and there will be some sort of transition there, but it won't be too noticeable. You guys want to get in on the Dauntless, make sure you're a subscriber, because I'm going to build that Dauntless and I'm going to give it away on the channel. It'll take about a year to build. It'll be an RC airplane like no other, because it will have control line details in it. It won't be just a plug and play. It'll be like my Thunderbolt was. So when I come down with the tissue, I want to go right over the top of this. So I got to get it right before I put the tissue on it. And we'll take this, as soon as I get this done and the bottom sanded out, we'll take it outside and put 3 coats of dope on it and get it stark ready for finishing. Like I say, I got a 30-foot cord. I can the audio may not be as good, but no, maybe I could get that out there. I don't know. It's hard to be the Eric Brin of screaming. Remember sanding. Can you guys hear me okay? I mean, I have only had one comment from Alexander. Took three tries to get on YouTube, and I don't see the green dot going on the bottom for audio. I guess I could check. Okay, if you look here, you see how it's transparent? But I still got a little spot right there. I think I'm going to have to hit that with acro. Yeah, we'll hit that with acro. But boy, if you're going to hit it with acro back here, you don't want to use much. That's way back on the business end. Let's get a little going here. Okay, razor blade. Painting without paint. I love the smell of that stuff. Okay, that's all it's going to get. So that's that. Okay. So we got that and that. Let's flip it over and start doing the bottom. Let me get that flap back on so I don't lose it. Remember, as Jen Lynch says, the bottom must be as good as the top. And every detail, I mean, you got to go around and do, every detail has to be, you know, as good as it can possibly be. You guys that are building airplanes to just kick around and fly, you know, that's one thing. That's nice. I mean, you can get something to fly and go have fun with. But if you're building a piece of artwork, you might as well make it as absolutely perfect as possible. Okay, we got big time stuff going on this side. Can you guys hear me? Got 9 viewers, 1 comment. Please let me know. Can you hear me? If you can, I need to fix it now. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna Jap tissue all this. You know, Dr. Paper was good in a pitch. Sound is good, great. Dr. Paper was good in a pinch, and I used it here because I didn't have anything in St. Louis, and I used it on the flaps, but I'm not going to use it again. It doesn't stick down the same as Jap tissue or silk span. And, you know, I put a coat of dope down, put the paper down wet, put a couple more coats down and rubbed it all in. But I can tell that there's going to be an issue with this paper at the end of this build. This airplane is going to have a lot of tape on it. And the tape that I use is professional auto body tape, and it's got quite the adhesive properties. And it doesn't like, I mean, everything has to be stuck down really, really good. And there's nothing worse than your end of your paint job, pulling up the paint or pulling up the tape and pulling the paper up all the way to the bare wood. It makes you sick. And it's usually right where 3 colors are: the red, the white, and the blue. And it'll go all the way to the wood. There's another thing that car guys don't have to deal with. They don't care how much the car weighs or the motorcycle, so they can use all the paint they want. You know, you can use all the harsh thinners on it. I was watching a guy I guess it was last night. He was priming with his feather fill primer. I'm sure it's great stuff for a car, but it was catalyzed primer. He put 1 bottle of MEK catalyst per quart of primer. And everybody said it's, you know, I could see that it was flashing off. That stuff was flashing off because it's one full tube of MEK to a quart of primer. So think about this: take a quart of resin and add a whole bottle of MEK to that quart of resin. How long do you think before it's smoking on your bench? I'm sure it gets hard though. I'll tell this story about smoking resin. Most guys know the story about, my dad had a hobby shop and blah, blah, this, that, and the other. We had a two-car garage. After I had moved everybody out of the house from building airplanes, I had a two-car garage all to myself. And my folks would come home after going to the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning. There'd be girls sanding on the workbench and this, that, and the other. So I had a full production shop in the garage. And of course, as kids, I know I've told this story before, but it's a good story. As kids, we do, not only did I do airplanes, I did other stuff as a kid. We built M80s. So, got this M80 press, and we took my brother's car and lit it on fire and blew it up, his G.I. Joes, and with M80s, playing war out in the front yard. Well, somebody called the police on us. Well, this is before I got the whole garage to myself, because my dad used to recycle the Los Angeles Tribune newspaper, and we had lots of newspapers in the back part of the garage. Bundles of newspapers for recycling. And I saw the West Covina police coming, and I took the M80 press and I threw it over the back of the papers, and it was way in the back. Well, I knew the cops were coming, so I took the resin, I threw it in the trash, and we got through my brother's cars and tried to destroy the evidence. And here's that resin. It's smoldering. It's smoldering in the trash can. Smoke just coming off that baby. And the cop said, "All right, where is it?" And I said, "Where's what?" He said, "The M80 press. We know you guys are making them here." "Oh, no, sir. No, sir. You can look. I couldn't begin to scratch the surface of this place in a month." And I guess he called the building inspector or whoever. My dad got a ticket for all them newspapers. As I got a little older in that same garage, I had a 57 Chevy I bought for $15. Had fall off the jack stands on top of me. My dad had to pay $50 to get rid of it. Have it towed off. I don't know how my dad survived my childhood. Good sport. That's what he was, a good sport. When we went to the Nats, my dad and I, we talked about all that stuff, and he didn't have a problem with it, so. That was a good thing. He lived to 98 years and 1 day. He passed away January 21st of this year. And I wanted to mention this. You remember when I said that I had a kidney infection and I was pissing blood and I had to drink water and not drink any Dr. Pepper and all that? That's the same reason. My dad had the same thing going on at the exact same time, and that's what he died from a kidney problem. Isn't that odd? I mean, it's like we're connected. We were connected. We were 2,000 miles apart. And I never thought about it until just the other day, because I haven't had a problem since his passing. Makes you go, what the heck's going on here? We had a contest at Booter Park, Lafayette Escadrille, and I was standing out in the middle of the field listening to airplanes run, and I just said, you know what, I need to call my dad. And I called him, and he was outside. My mom answered the phone. He was outside doing something. And the minute that he came in, the closet was on fire. The reason why the closet was on fire, he had taken a space heater and put it in the closet to dry out for a water leak. And it burst into flames. And if I wouldn't have called him at that precise time, their trailer would have burnt down. That's odd. That's really weird, but it's a true story. Gonna miss that guy, because anytime I had a question about electrical or anything, he had the answer. Now I got nobody to call for the answer. I get people calling me for the question, for the answers. Fortunately, I did pay attention when he was alive to all the answers that I had asked him. He built speed planes. And his speed planes looked like they were painted jet black lacquer, hand rubbed lacquer. They looked just like a piano when they were done. I think he's probably a better finisher than I am. He was. Of course, a speed plane is only that big, and this is this big. So there's twice as much work to do. To go back in the archives, about 1949, Detroit newspaper, there's pictures of him holding his speed plane next to a, well, I don't know what you'd call it, centrifugal or friction starter. They crank up a big stone wheel, get it going, and then plug the speed plane into the starter. And that was some contest they had in Detroit. I think they had the Plymouth something or other going there. Obviously I wasn't there, so I have no clue. My Uncle Jerry was a good builder and craftsman too. He's the guy who taught me about baby powder and dope. I can't tell you some of the things that he taught me about finishing. I don't want to get sued. I can tell you this. You get Aerogloss dope and fill it up with Johnson's baby powder and let it dry and start sanding. Boy, does it smell good. It smells so good. But if you guys want to finish light, don't do that, because baby powder, Jimson, rock. So is spackle. Don't use it. This superfill is some type of epoxy with micro balloons or zinc stearate, or I have no clue exactly what's in it. I had to look up the MSDS and see what's in it. There we go. That's straight. So this side came out better than the other side. A little spot right there. Same exact spot on the other side. The thing is, being this far back from the center of gravity, I don't want to add too much stuff back here. Because these airplanes get away from you real quick, get tail heavy, and then you start adding nose weight, and you've just killed your whole project. You get in that Galdini barbell effect. So it's best to take it off than it is to put it on. Remember, I got to do all the shaping now, because once I put the tissue on it, shaping is done. Well, we got a starved horse look there. It's the way it goes. It'll hide with the checkerboard, so. Time for a new piece of 180. You know, I see guys do that too. They use the same piece of sandpaper over and over and over and over and over again. When it gets a few minutes old, put a new piece on, or you'll work yourself to death. See, this dried already. This will get some superfill in it for the fillets. I'm just doing the flats now. And that right there is going to be an issue. At least we'll get the detail stuff done today. So I'm holding the block. It's the rubber foam block flat. I'm trying to knock off all the tops. And then once I get the tops knocked off and it's flat like that, we need to feather it back in. Let me stand on this side and use my other hand. Need to change hands and gain a stroke. There's another thing about feathering putty. Sand into your, stay on the putty and sand into the other piece. If you sand this way, you'll get a lump. And then once you get that cloud effect, you got it feathered in. You don't want any hard lines. Dan, if you're watching, you better be sanding. See where that black dot is right there? There's a line, and I can feel that. It's like, maybe it's 1/1000th of an inch. But until that gets a cloud on it, you got to sand. Stay on the putty. and off the balsa. Now, oh, now I got a little bit right there. Of course, that'll be hidden in the fillet. So you'll notice that I'm just trying to get the flats. I'm not worried too much about the rounds, because the rounds will come when I put the fillets in. A little piece of wood, there we go. That will get hid by fillet material. Try to get the leading edge to mold round up into these areas here. This is sculpting, basically. If you watch a good auto body guy, he's a sculptor. They're an artist. Yeah, we won't worry about it too much. Back when we used to mold fuselages on motorcycles, that's where you get your 6-pack of beer and kick back and get some sandpaper and start sanding. Seeing as I don't drink anymore. So today is just a day of details. If you're looking for something exciting, this is not the day. There's no John to keep me company. There's only me. We're going to have a problem right there with that piece of carbon that I left drape over there. Maybe not. Oh. Might have to run the air conditioner. It feels like it's getting hotter than Hades in here. Must be global warming. I need to figure out the thermostat on the sun. Climate change. Sure. Should be getting a call any minute here, wondering where the heck I'm at, but I'm here and not there. So don't worry about it. I had to get the oil changed. I did something I never normally do. I went 5,000 miles without changing the oil. Not good. My car has been changed every 3,000 miles since I've had it in 04. you young guys, the cheapest insurance you can get is change your oil at every 3,000 miles. You don't need to use synthetic, but you need to change the oil and filter every 3,000 miles religiously. People say, well, you can use synthetic and change it every 7,000. Well, you could. You want all them particles floating around in the oil for 7,000 miles? I don't think so. If you ever cut open, look up Project Farm on YouTube and see that guy. He doesn't take any endorsements from people, but he'll show you. He'll cut filters open and he'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. There's some good YouTube channels out there to watch. Stuff that's really informative instead of nonsense. My YouTube channel is all about sanding. But that's why I'm the Bob Ross of sanding. Well, there's a spot there I don't like. Let's see, I think you get it done and you put it in a different light, and sure enough, you ain't got it done. See all the cords laying all over the floor, what I got to go through? You kill yourself here, all these cords. So the trick is to sand them out and not add any more. You know, you only get, that's part of the diet. You only get so much. And then you're out. I got 3 tubes of that Acryl green. I don't know where it's at. I think it might be in St. Louis or somewhere. That will last a lifetime. 3 tubes of that stuff, man, that's a lifetime supply. Because you only use very little. Better not be using much. Now, I don't have the Monado here to show the paint job, but the only one I have is the best one I have here is the Dr. Pepper airplane. But if you're new to the channel, I do have quite a few finished airplanes around here that look pretty decent. That have gained me anywhere from 17 to 19 points. 20 being the best. 20 pointers, really not, I don't even really try for it, because if I was trying for 20 points, these airplanes would be 80 ounces, and it ain't worth it. You'd be spraying on that feather fill primer. And I mean, if you're into that, knock yourself out. But why would you build a light airplane and spray on a pound's worth of... I know for a fact, Kenny Stevens has a gallon of clear on his airplane. And I don't want to hear that nonsense that, oh, it only adds an ounce. Your ass. You may think an ounce. The good rule of thumb is an ounce per coat. So if we're going to do a 6-ounce finish, there's only 6 coats of paint on this. And that's dope. That's not urethane. That's sprayed 50-50. So it's actually only 3 coats of dope. And how you get the shine is the sanding. So if you start off with a good base, you're going to end up with a good mirror. I tell the story about the chrome. Chrome is 50 millionths thick. That part looks chrome before it's put in the tank. The tank dip is only a protecting, it's not a coating. It's an electrolyte process to protect the metal. Of course, they do it in stages where they nickel, copper, chrome. And nickel, to me, if you like old-time stuff like I do, looks better than chrome as far as I'm concerned. But you got to keep polishing it because it tarnishes. So that's why they go to chrome plating. Nickel has a richer look. I should have started earlier. I don't have my usual guys on here. Usually, I got lots of chatters. Okay, let's work on the cowl a little bit. Now, I've worked on this cowl several times, so we're back at it again. You know, you kind of get bored of sanding the same piece over and over again. And so this basically is finished for now, but I'll be back to sand it again. So if you go back in my build log, I think this piece started out 3 ounces. We're down under an ounce. I think it's 3/4 of an ounce now with the glass on it. I think it even has filler inside it. I mean, that's pretty ate up, pretty sick. But you might as well get everything out of it you can. Let's see what it weighs. Started out 3 ounces. We got it pretty close to ready for paint now. No, it picked up a little weight. It's an ounce. I took 2/3 of the weight off of it, but you know, when I added this stuff inside and so right in here, this is going to be the difficult spot. We're going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to figure out some unique ways to get this sanded because it's got some rough spots in it. And if I'm going to imitate Ted Fancher's cowl, it has to be perfect. Or at least try to be perfect. So let's figure out what can I use. I guess we use this piece of copper tubing. Take some sandpaper and roll the copper tubing with sandpaper. Come on now, don't give me a fit. I need to call Ted and ask him how long it takes to do a cowl, one of his cowls. They're absolutely fantastic. I don't know how much they weigh, but boy, they sure look nice. And there's no easy way around this. This is going to be just this will probably take 2 or 3 times doing it. Keep sand on it. 1/4-inch dowel with your sandpaper wrapped around it. Yeah, this is not quarter. I don't have a dowel. This is copper. But we'll get it. The problem is if you go too far, then you'll sand a line in it. This cowl is way out of my norm. I don't normally want to do this, but I did this just for John because he was complaining I always do the same cowl. Just to show him I can do more than the same cowl. It's just easy to do them cowls that I normally do, like a Nobler. But we want to do that. I don't even think, yeah, the Continental doesn't even have a cowl like this. Bill Noyes built a Pisces that had a neat cowl on it. It looked like an air scoop. Of course, the airplane was a jet. Now, I'm mentioning, guys, that Tom has been dead for quite a while. I haven't talked to Bill in years. I don't know if he's still alive. He had a 50, I think it was 55 or 56 T-Bird, one of the little tiny jobs, and it was beautiful. Couldn't get around it. I guess he did all the body work on it. We might have to primer this. Not like I want to, but at least primer this section here so I can, because when this is done, this will be perfect, or as close as I can get it. Nothing's perfect. But not bad for starting out as a block of wood. Tommy Looper. Now there is a guy. That is a carver. He carves pilots, and they look realistic, and they're super light. He said that I could do it, but I don't think I could. I just don't know if I have the eye for it. Back to sanding this. You guys bored yet? Got 12 watchers, 9 thumbs up. Like, subscribe, share. Throw a super chat my way. If you can do it. Helps the channel metrics. You notice we picked up a big amount of subscribers in the last go around. Oh boy. Right there, that's the hair lip that's going to be tough to do. We might have to put some superfill in that. Matter of fact, I think I will. Because there's no way that I can sand that fiberglass. Make it look perfect. Suppose if I had a couple 100 hours, I could do it. But we don't want to take forever. We'll just take some superfill and fill it. So if you guys think this is easy, please show me. Going to be a problem right there too. That's going to be a problem right there too. There's a high spot on that. Can you guys hear that fiberglass cloth? You want to sand it smooth, but you don't want to sand through it either. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a little superfill, put a dot there and a dot right in the center there. Because I don't believe I can get that out. So when in doubt, fill it up. And there's just no way. So, new piece of paper. You guys enjoy these sanding sessions? Come on, guys, a little feedback would help. You know what? I just about got it out of there. I don't think it's going to be perfect. But Rusty's not here watching any sanding or any of the pre-paint stages. They're all important. I relish sanding because it simply makes the paint look great. Yeah. No, I'm Sparky. Rusty passed away. Rusty was our hangout moderator, and now we got Charles. Rusty will be missed. We're all getting old. Okay, if you look right there, that looks kind of crappy. So I'm going to fill it. Now I could use the 3M putty, and it would be dry quick. But because of where it's at, and because of how paint is going to float in there, if you use that 3M putty, oh, no problem. Few weeks. If you use the 3M in here instead of the superfill, the paint will puddle in this when I shoot this. And the dope is a lacquer base, and it has a lot of hot thinner in it. And that thinner will lift that, so it's best to use superfill. So let me round over these corners. And we're going to add some superfill. Can't remember what I used to draw the holes. Was it a quarter? Might have been. I use a quarter for a lot of things. I know the radiuses on my flaps are quarters. Arturo, you're from Brazil, right? Or somewhere South America? Somewhere down there. F2B guy. I get a lot of Koreans watching. Some Japanese. Some Australians. I mean, it's a pretty diverse crew. Okay, I'm going to mix up a little superfill. We're going to just whisk it in there. No, Memphis. Oh, Arturo, Memphis. That's where I crashed my Thunderbolt. Lewis Rankin, you know him? I was stationed in Millington when I was in the service. Many times been down on Overton Square. I don't know if they still call it that, but off Highway 51. Drinking cold Michelob beer on tap. That was in the 70s, early 70s. You know you got some fine control line guys in your area, right, Arturo? Louis Rankin. You got Jim Lynch. Jim Lynch is a fine builder, and he's right there. You send me a message on Stunt Hanger, I'll get you in touch with him. I think he's in Memphis. I seem to remember going over his house. And Louis Rankin lives in Memphis. There's a flying field right there for you guys. Or they fly RC airplanes. I got some pictures of that. You name a place, and I probably... Aha! Well, you'll enjoy the RC Dauntless build I'm going to do. 84-inch wingspan. Sato 80. I'm going to give it away on the channel, too. Jim Lynch flies RC. And there is, I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been a lot of years since I was at the contest there. Yes, it is, now that I think about it. Because we left that contest area and went over to the base. And we searched for the square pad between the church and the hobby shop, which is no longer there. And when I said, stop into the church and I'll ask the pastor if he knows where that square pad was, because the shore patrol was driving around watching us old guys dig in the field. So we stopped in the church, and there was a commander who was the pastor, and I looked at him and I took one look at him and I said, well, I was going to ask you a question, but you ain't old enough. See you later. Those were fun times. We used to go to the Sears parking lot at night after work, after getting off in the Navy. Go to the Sears parking lot off Highway 51 and fly under the lights. That's before there was goody two-shoes. Used to be able to have fun. You can't have fun no more. Not allowed. Might hurt something. Yeah, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. How I'm going to build it in here, but we'll figure it out. Half a wing at a time, I guess. Okay, let me mix up a little superfill. I don't need much. Yeah. Heck, we'll just use this piece of cardboard because I don't need much. Yeah, I crashed my Thunderbolt, my 2007 Thunderbolt 3 in Millington, and I was crying. Bad deal. All because I couldn't let John Simpson beat me by a half a point. If I'd have been smart, I'd have just put it up and said, well, I'll take second. Okay, I'm going to mix just the smallest amount possible. Probably mix it 50-50 so it dries quick. Not only that, you can hardly get that little amount out of there. I don't have any alcohol, so I'm kind of stuck there. What do I do with that? There we go. Got to do it by eye. Hopefully we can get her on there. I'll tell you what, and let's see, I've been building longer than 55 years. Let's see, how long have I been building now? Let's see. "58 years. In the 58 years I've been building, technology sure has come a long ways. Actually, it's probably 59 years. Might know something. Okay, we have a little bit of putty mixed up. Yes, it's too bad what's happened, but I've started a Sig Smith mini plane. Well, I'm trying to attract the RC guys over to my channel, so I'm going to be building a couple of RC airplanes, and the control line guys will just have to sit through it. It's the same thing. I try to tell the RC guys that it's the same process, but they don't listen. They're not interested. Okay, let's get this off my fingers. And to keep from having to sand so much, we'll take this tube and we'll, oh, you know what? I got a sculptor's knife. I forgot all about that. We'll take this sculptor's knife here. Don't have to call me Sir Arturo. I was just an enlisted guy. I wasn't an officer. I actually did something. Look how nice that's gonna look. Nice, nice, nice. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that exactly how I want. I might have to add some more stuff in there. I'll keep playing with it until it's perfect. There we go. That's better. That's more better. Let's try rolling it. That's it. I'm not going to monkey with it. I'll sand that to get it right. Okay, so what did I do with the screw? Another one bites the dust. Oh, is that it? Yep. So we'll quit monkeying with that, let that set up. I could do a little bit right there. Smooth that out better. All this tinkering leads for a better finish. See, I don't know how that looks, so we'll just take a little superfill. Superfill sand's so easy compared to the epoxy, to the Z-epoxy. I mean, now, if I had some isopropyl alcohol, 91 proof, I could smooth that out, wouldn't have to sand it, but I don't have any. So we're stuck with that. I guess I could lick my finger. It always tastes crappy the second time around, huh? There we go. So I licked my finger and smoothed it out. Didn't have any alcohol. I don't recommend you lick your finger because it does taste like crap, but on the hinges caught me, and I've been hooked since. Yeah, the pocket hinges are cool. We got new pocket hinges now, though. Thanks to John. New way of mounting them. You want to see that? I'll go out in the car and get the flap that he made me. I'll go get that now. I got to bring that crap in anyway. Give me a minute. Okay. Before, when I first started doing these hinges, I sanded a groove in the leading edge. Let's see if I can find that tool. Probably not. Let's pull this up. This is the flaps to my new airplane. How I used to do it is I would sand a notch in this and inset the piece of wire 3/16 back from the leading edge. Well, John diddled around and he made he made an improvement, he thought. And I tried it, I didn't like it. Where you just slot the front and then insert a piece of plywood. I think that's how my Tucker is done, my Tucker XL. And I did it once and decided that way is not for me. But he's come up with another way that's really, really innovative, where he's routed out the leading edge where this line is here and inset a piece of carbon fiber tubing. And then this wire captures the hinges. And then you can take your flaps on and off. And that's the system I'm going to be using from now on. That is a great idea. The other way, not so much. This idea, very good. Let's see. Now I still have to bush these hinges. Where are they? Maybe I can find some. Not having any room is just a detriment. Oh, there they are. If you want these hinges, you can get them from the CNC router guy on the vendor's corner, and it's $30 for a gazillion of them. But you get the little lollipops like this. So we'll go ahead and, these are not bushed, but I'll go ahead and put them on the wire and show you how this new system works. This is really great. I mean, really great. Like I say, the old system, not so much. All you're using that carbon fiber tube for is to capture this wire so that you can slide it down. You can slide it down I probably should not leave these in here, because what'll happen is they'll get bumped and cause the hole to be out of square. Come on. It's always the last one to give you a problem. There it is. Okay. So now these hinges are captured with one wire. Go to Stunt Hanger on the vendor's corner. Are you a member of Stunt Hanger? And he's the CNC guy in the vendor's corner. CNC routing. Anyway, so that wire captures the whole flap. So if I want to take the flaps off, you just pull this wire out and take the flaps off. So that's the new system. And this system is by far superior to what I had. But I had to think of something quick. So that's what I did. And this, incorporated with the trailing edge cup, makes the hinge line non-existent. So, and these are the freest. It's the freest type hinge setup I've ever used. I'll never go back to cleat, or as Dorn was showing, Kevlar, or the Dubro plate hinges, or even them other stupid things. I can't remember what you call them. They're barrel type hinges. Far, far better here. Well, if you join, use your real first and last name, and I'll approve you. And then a whole bunch of other stuff will open up to you. You go down to the vendor's corner. Send me a message and I'll get you set up. Anyway, these are the flaps for my new airplane. I figured once I saw John had this set up, I had him inset that piece of tubing for me. He already had it all jigged up. And he's made his dado blade Dremel. So we got inboard and outboard, and that's for my next airplane. Always think ahead. My next airplane is this motor crutch. and those flaps. So I'm halfway there. Got something to hold the engine and something to turn the corner. Let me get a soda. I doubt that I will try another piped airplane. I may be limited to what I can view on the forum. Not a member yet. Well, like I say, join. All right. So we got that, and it's starting to dry, hopefully soon. We got this. That should be good for paper. I can feel a spot there. I need to sand that off. Oh, shoot, put my thumb in it. Yeah, nasty. Come on. There we go. Got it back. Can't wipe stuff on my new jeans. Oh, my mother used to get so mad at me. She'd get me a new pair of Levi's, and within a week they'd have glue and paint and holes all in them. Oh, she used to get mad. Oh, I see where I need to sand that hole. So I missed that. I missed the glow plug hole too. Let's see here. Now, if you look right here, let's see. No, I can't see it. There it is. If you look right here, right on this edge, you can see resin. Well, you don't want to see resin. You want to sand that until the resin just disappears. And then it'll be round again. And trust me, all those details make a difference. You get Jim Lynch looking at your airplane here. What are you going to do about that? You'll pay attention to these little spots. Charlie Reed's another good finisher. It's got a close enough. I have put my thumb in that again. How long does the filler take to cure? A couple hours. It's supposed to set 24 hours, but I mixed it hot, 50-50. Aqua green doesn't take that long. Take 5 minutes because it's just a spot putty. But superfill, it's a catalyst. It takes some time, so that's that. Got that sanded round. Got that sanded round. Good shape. Okay, put it back on. Put it on, take it off. Put it on, take it off. I might, if you look right here, there's a little bit of balsa there. I might, when I get to St. Louis, I have a ball mill. I might take a ball mill and mill out that last little bit of stuff right there. I mean, it wouldn't hurt it to leave it there, but if you don't get every part out that you can get out, and you let that go, you know, several times over, your airplane gets heavy. We're at 47 ounces now. I'd like to make my under 60 goal. I don't know what it weighs since I added those. Should take those off and shape those. Let's do that. They're square. We can't have square. Superfill can be gotten at Wicks Aircraft. Just look up WICKS Aircraft in Highland, Illinois. And it's about $28 a quart. And it's the best stuff you've ever used. So we can't have square. That if you leave something square, it'd be just like me putting together a profile ringmaster and not sanding the fuselage to an airfoil. That would look like hell. So it's the same with these spats. We gotta sand them to an airfoil. So the easiest way to do that, fastest way to do that, is 80 grit on a block. So I guess I need a pen. Now Brodak sells superfill, and I think Sig sells something similar, but you get half as much for twice as much. You might as well get it from the real aircraft guys. Okay, I center lined that finger, center lined it with the ballpoint pen. We're going to sand an airfoil on these. So these are 64th plywood. They're almost ready to finish. Because plywood doesn't take hardly any dope. Yeah, we can't have plain. We got to have cool. So that's all it took to get that going. To the other side now. And it takes a little weight off too. Remember, landing gear weighs 3 ounces. Doesn't matter what kind of gear you use. And anytime you can beat that 3 ounce mark, it's money in the bank. Just like the elevator stabilizer weighs 3 ounces. If you can get it down to 2.5, you just save yourself a half an ounce. Motor crutch the same way. Motor crutch weighs 3 ounces. you can get it down to 2.5, you saved a ½ ounce. So that's all it takes, you know, and I'll sand it with 180 here in a second, but and that will make the airplane look so much better finished. You know, you want a finished look. You don't want to. You don't want to look like a hack. The inside is a little harder to sand, but ain't nothing really. And we get on it with the 180, it'll look finished. Oh, I might CA that. Even sand the tops. Because that stuff shows. It's in the details. You're here anyway, and it takes like, what did it spend? A minute or two? I'll even fill it. I'll even fill that little hole there. Matter of fact, we'll do that now, seeing that I got some mixed up here. So, tough holding it. 180 will cut it nice though. Okay, that's roughed in. Got a fingerprint of super glue on there. Got to get that off. Take this watch off. Much better. Okay. Let's get some 180 here. I had one of my subscribers send me some sandpaper. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He asked me not to mention who he was, so I'll respect that. I like sandpaper. What do you want for Christmas? Sandpaper! Okay, we got to get that fingerprint off of there. That was easy. Now the fastest way to finish this is with some medium CA. And you just coat it with medium CA and then hit it with primer and then shoot dope on it. And that's what we'll probably do. But I won't do that today. Okay, done with 180. Let's go down to 320 and these are done. A little bit of glue right there I need to cut off. Yeah, even these little spots that nobody will see, you better clean them up. They're gonna fly a gnat's airplane because some of them judges really look. I look when I judge. That's why there's no such thing as a 20-pointer. You may think you got a 20-pointer, but you don't, because I'll find some spot. You see how finished that looks? The wire comes out of the spat instead of having the spat glued onto one side of it. You can see the wire much better. Now, that's how my gear doors would have been too, but I didn't want the weight. I started weighing them, going, man, we're picking up poundage. Okay, what happened to the 320? That's the new roll. Hiding somewhere. That's 180. Come on. You see, you got it right here on the bench, and you know it's right here on the bench, but it's run off somewhere. Come on, dude. Oh, there it is, hiding behind the superfill. He sprouted legs and ran over behind the superfill and said, I don't want to work. Okay, 80 grit, a couple of minutes. 180, now we're down to 320. That's sanded out very nicely. And the 64th plywood is pretty much filled already. It won't take hardly any paint at all to paint these. Can't feel anything. It looks good. Okay, let's put that one on. Do the other one. Will you make the trailing edge into a point? Let's see what he said there. Will you make the trailing edge into a point on your wheel pants like your wing? Yes, it's tapered. It's oval. It's not it's just oval like that. It's not airfoil to speak of. You could, but this is only an 1/8 inch thick, so you know, just taper both sides so it's an oval. Keep it simple. This stuff's already complicated enough. But to me, that looks a whole lot better than that. Let's do the other side. I probably should have, yeah, it won't matter. I ain't building a watch. We ain't building a watch. Get your center line on it, or thereabouts. That looks pretty close. Okay, I gotta take a drink of soda. I've been talking for 2 hours now and haven't had a drink, haven't stopped talking, have nobody to talk to. See how nice this came out? I showed you how to do that knife edge with the 64th plywood. And then when the fillet comes in, I'll start dragging all the way back from the back and then drag it all the way to the front. And that'll do that transition back up this way. So then when you rub this, you rub it, it's super compound. You couldn't, that is a compound angle. That's basically sculpting. And that's what this airplane is a sculpture in tribute to Tom Morton. I keep looking at this spot. I'm going to show you this. If I can get it in here. I don't know if it's going to show up. See this right here? Most guys would let that go. But that there will look terrible when painted. So I keep looking at that. I'm going to fix that right now. Remember, we're trying to paint without using paint. So when you're not using any material, it has to be leveled off. That's better. I see what it is I don't have any paint on it, so I gotta wait until I get some more paint on it. That's why I stopped. It needs another splash of dope on it. Because what I'm doing is sanding into the paper. And if I sand into the paper, then I'm kind of screwed. So gotta get some more dope on it. So let's do this. See if we get a close up of me shaping this. It's pretty simple. Get yourself some Durablocks. Amazon. Feels like a piece of balsa wood in your hand. It's very light. The bad thing is they don't stay straight. They cup. But I like them. I do recommend them. But if you're looking for perfectly straight, you want to buy them Great Plains T-bars. Part of being a builder of airplanes is being an experimenter of sanding. What does it take to get the job done? And you want to do it in the least amount of time. You don't want to spend a month sand a little thing. So you got to move a lot of material or hard material. Use 80 grit, 36, 40, 36 grit, whatever. You just have to learn when to stop. Because there's plenty of taking off tools, but not a whole lot of putting back on tools. And that's the mistake I made in the flap there. I didn't stop quick enough and sanded a hole in it. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to repair that hole. And would it look all right? Yeah. Nobody would even probably notice it. Except the guys who mean something. Jim Lynch, Charlie Reeves, and me. So, got to get fixed. Okay. We don't know how much is saved, but got to save something because I see dust coming off. So even if it's a gram or two, that's good. Now, you RC guys that use that RC wood, the 7-pound to 10-pound wood, actually should be paying closer attention than us control line guys to my weight savings plan. Because when you're using that big heavy wood, you're really killing the performance of your airplane. Weight is horsepower, or it takes horsepower to overcome weight. So the heavier it is, the more horsepower you need to perform the same. So that's why control line guys look for 4 to 6 pound wood. And I'm willing to pay a premium for good stuff. Some guys aren't, but I'm not going to build an airplane that's not going to be light. I've learned my lesson. I should have listened to Ron a long time ago, but I didn't. But I have learned my lesson now. If you can't do it light, why bother? And where it really shines is in the wind. That don't sound good. Better get some CA on that. Let me scratch that off. Come on. Yep, okay, that's good. Let's wick it down in there. Get it ready to go. You know what? I'll show you the finishing method I'm talking about, because it's not that big a deal. And what I did here is that if you listen to that, when I was sanding, you hear, that was the skin peeling up from the balsa, so I just wicked some CA down inside it. Well, now we need to get some 180 on this, and we'll start to get a finish, a shape, getting it closer to our end means. But I'll go ahead and use some of that medium CA on it and show you the finishing method that's the fastest. And you can do this with small parts. I don't recommend you do it with big parts like cowls and flaps and elevators and rudders and stuff. But little parts like this, no big deal. Okay. Okay, that's close enough. No. coverall is terrible. That stuff is heavy. If you want something more durable than silk span, then use polyspan. But coverall, no. My shoestring fuselage was covered with coverall because I wanted a scale look. Coverall is like real canvas. It's terrible. Durable is all get out, but man, you're paying a weight penalty. Okay, let me check it one more time. Looks square. Okay. The quickest way to finish things like this is with some medium CA. And you just put a line on it. And then rub it in. Get your finger off it so it doesn't glue it on there. If you're under 18 years old, don't follow any of my instructions. I don't want your mother going, "You got him glued to that table." Stuff is very sticky. It'll burn you, so be careful. Okay, let this air dry. Let's pull that other one back off and get it going. Seeing as I already got the glue on my fingers, might as well do them both. Well, you guys learned something today? You can finish with super glue. We got her good that time. Smear it all over it. Now, if you got debonder, you can get it off your finger. Okay, I think debonder is acetone, but I'm not sure. But how I get it off, that finger right there, is covered with CA. It's hard as a rock. I just get out the sanding block, sand it off. You'll know when to stop. Don't do it with a belt sander. I mean, I have, but it might get pretty warm. Okay, not quite dry. Let's hit it with a little kicker. I just missed it with some kicker. Can't ask for anything faster. You can ask, but you won't get it. It's already got a shine on it, even. So the thing to do take 320 and knock the shine off, and that'll get it flat. Of course, you could use 180, but then you got scratches in it, so 320 is fine. And you can do that as many times as necessary to get it perfect. I mean, one time is probably good enough. Don't want to carry around any more weight than you have to. I'm just looking for something to get the wood sealed. And that's smooth as a baby's butt. Two and a half hours. We got anybody that's been here from the start? Probably not. Pretty boring video watching some old guy sand a toy airplane. That, my friend, that side is ready for paint. Now, if you look here, you can tell that there's plenty of material on there. You can see it looks like brush strokes, which are really just my finger. I don't know if you can catch that in the light or what. Like right there, you can see looks like a brush stroke. That's my finger stroke. So it's on there pretty thick. Medium CA, so you want to sand that flat. Now, if you look, you can see the brush strokes in it. You want to get all them brush strokes out. And once they're out, stop sanding, and it's ready to paint. That is the absolute fastest way to finish. It's not the lightest. Don't get me wrong. It's not the lightest. Lightest way is dope. You know, probably could have saved it 2-3 grain. But for such a small piece, it really doesn't much matter. You know, if you want to monkey with dope or whatever, do not try it on big pieces, though. Your airplane will be a turd. It's okay for a little piece like this because we're going to get it all sanded back off, but do it on a big fuselage side or whatever, man, that will be heavy. Okay, see where the brush marks have gone away? There's a little bit on this side still. You just want to sand till them are gone, like that, and quit sanding there. Well, you've wasted a marvelous 2.5 hours with me. I hope you learned something. I sanded right through lunch, so I'm going to get me something to eat here. I'll be back later on this evening. If you care to watch me continue to sand and tell stupid stories, that came out good. I'm happy with that. Gonna make me a turkey ham sandwich. I can't go to bed early like I did last night and wake up at midnight and stay awake and expect to drive. So I will stay up probably to 11 o'clock. We'll be on till 11 later on this evening. Got to get my sleep habits back in swing because it is a 5-hour drive. I have sleep drove it though. You think truckers ain't sleeping? You're more than welcome, Arturo. Anybody watching this should be sanding along with me. Len, if you're watching, Len Burrell, if you're watching, you better be sanding. Never get nothing done if you're watching me. Shoot, that one. Let's do the other one, I guess. Okay, that's that one. To this one here, I didn't even have to kick off because it took a little longer. But you can see those streaks in it. See the streaks? Just sand them flat. And it's ready to paint. Oh, there is a little bit of wet there, so we'll hit her with a little kicker. When we come back later, this putty should be dry. We can finish the cowl up. Looks like I got a little spot there I need to sand. Man, so much sanding. Now back in the DC 540 days, I'd take this outside, hit this with a couple squirts of DC 540 and sand it off. But seeing that I can't get that stuff, they're stuck with the Crest BH part number. While it works, it is twice as heavy and takes twice as long to dry. I mean, you gotta use it. You gotta use it. It's probably what's gonna get ended up used on the canopy area. Because no matter how good you are around the canopy, you can't get that to look perfect without primer. Because it takes 3 or 4 sand outs to have that blend perfect. And the areas that I tell you about, the nose of your airplane, the canopy, the fillet area, the fit and finish of the rudder, these are all things that the judge's eyes go to right away. These, not so much, because they're under the airplane. And they're a little, but you know, might as well do them nice. Wendy had some nice wheel doors with lettering and ink lines and doodads. Where Wendy killed his airplanes was paint. That's the only thing I can say about Wendy. He liked that 20-point finish. And there's a penalty to pay. Come on, how the heck did there it is? Super craftsman. Wendy is the super craftsman. Just like to stand too close to the paint gun for too long a period of time. A lot of good builders out there. You guys don't have to use my tips and tricks. You know, make up your own whatever. Maybe I'll steal from you and use yours. But mine do work. They're proven. Is it the easiest way to do things? Well, I'd like to think so, because I'm lazy. I'd like to do it the easiest way possible. But anything worth anything is going to be going to have to be an effort in it. No pain, no gain. I think that's pretty good here. I got a couple of spots. When I get all those shining spots out of it. Do you have to? No, it just looks better when it's done. And it's not that much more effort. You're already there, you might as well go all the way. Okay, wheel doors and wheel spats have been finished. So as you can tell by watching my videos, there's 1,000,001 things to do when you get this close to being done. This portion of the build takes twice as long as framing it up. I probably can frame this whole airplane up in about 40 hours. If I started and worked on it 8 hours a day, I would say in a week, 140-hour work week, I'd have an airplane on its wheels. It's this part that takes the time. You'll have at least 100 hours finishing. And if you don't have 100 hours finishing, it ain't going to be up to par, really. Now, I don't expect everybody to be able to build an airplane in 40 hours, so we'll double that. We'll say 80 hours. But finishing is going to take a couple of hundred, depending on the level of quality you want. What the heck is going on here? Must have got CA on the axle. Nothing for a stepper. There we go. I won't have to deal with that anymore. All right, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the videos. I don't know how the heck they do them end screens on live streams. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. Like I don't need one more thing to do. $47 ounces. Let's see here. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the videos. Great hairdo there. I'll be back in give me 3 hours, 7 o'clock, same time I normally start. We'll run for a while because I do have to stay awake so I can get up and drive tomorrow. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. I hope you learned something. All you gotta just take it into consideration. You start building one of these airplanes, it's going to be a while. I mean, and I don't expect everybody to have all these techniques mastered or whatever. Heck, I don't even have them mastered. I still screw up sometimes. But the thing is to figure out how do I keep going forward? How do I fix the issue that I just had and move forward? And it'll come to you. Anyway, we'll see you later on. I appreciate the support. If you're not a member of Stunt Hanger, make sure to join. And use your real first and last name. Otherwise, you ain't going to get through. All right, guys. We'll see you when I come back. 7 o'clock. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.